Hi, Sandy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the A.D.K Rock and Metal channel. Okay, so for today we are checking out a band called After Forever. It's a song called Beautiful Emptiness, and the reason we're checking this one out is obviously Floor Jansen. We have done Floor Jansen in Nightwish when we did our comparison. Not really comparison, we just kind of wanted to check out the two previous vocalists and the current vocalist from Nightwish. We've checked out Floor Jansen on a solo, and I thought it was really interesting to look at some of her earlier material. This is from a 2004 Pink Pop Festival. So yeah, we're going to go check it out. Now, we are going to be cutting the video up. We have to do that for copyright issues on there. So please, if you are just here to watch the whole video, a live performance, you're not going to see that. You please just watch the video. It's freely available. Just go and watch that. If you're wanting to hear what we want to say about a video and what we think about her performance, then please do stick around. So without further ado, let's go check it out.
But in my life, you know you live a beautiful emptiness. So why you see importance creates will turn into the love of silence.
Okie dokie, there we go. After Forever and Beautiful Emptiness. So just going to give a little bit of quick context on the band, just to help us from an understanding point of view. So this came out in 2004. The band was kept going until about 2009, which is when Floor left. the band when the band was disbanded, and then she went off to do a band called Revamp before, obviously, a few years later going on to join Nightwish in 2012. So she did Revamp for a couple of years before taking a break, I believe, in 2011 due to fatigue, exhaustion, which is understandable. After Forever came out in 1995, was originally called Apocalypse, and they were originally a death metal cover band with harsh male vocals. Before Floor joined in 1997, and then their style and sound shifted towards symphonic gothic metal, which does make a lot more sense, because I was listening to this a lot of what was going on there, and I'm going, this doesn't sound like your traditional symphonic metal guitar riffs or stylization. There was definitely a lot more doom and death in there than what you would expect from something like Epica or Nightwish in that sense. But obviously there was a lot of the vocal characteristics that we recognise from like the Target era Nightwish in there as well. So yeah, I thought that was quite interesting that we knew that kind of background of where the rest of the band had been doing for 2 years before Floor joined. But I'm interested, Andy, your thoughts on this track.
I think you summarised it quite well, really.
Okay, much. Right then, Kirk.
Yeah, I mean, if there are certain parts you know, if you was to sort of close your eyes and not look at the video, it could be a Nightwish live performance with Raymond from Theatre of Tragedy on male backing vocals. You know, that's what I thought at times. But you're absolutely right. There was certainly some elements of death and doom in there as well. I mean, it's not a band I've heard. I know the name. I know that's where Floor Jansen sort of was singing with. I didn't know she moved, or Mira's just fallen over. Moved from this band. I thought she moved from this band into, you know, she was sort of seconded, headhunted by Nightwish, but she obviously, as you explained, they broke up and she formed forming another band. But yeah, after Forever, I think this is a band I'd really get into. I hope they're not one of these where they've got a huge back catalogue and you don't know where to start. But bands of this ilk, they always put on great stage shows and performances. Although you said this is from a festival,
yeah,
you know, the performance was excellent. The keyboards, to me, were almost reminiscent of sort of chanting. You know, at times when they were sort of backing up Floor's vocals, who are, you know, they're absolutely incredible. She's such a talent, especially that opening section. You know, that was, I think that's a higher range and register that she delivers in that section that more than you often hear in her Nightwish performances, which is a shame because absolutely incredible. I really enjoyed the harsh vocals. They were, you know, as I say, reminiscent of death metal and certainly Raymond from my favourite bands, Theatre of Tragedy. Yeah, and really enjoyed the sort of the contrast of both the male and female vocals, the slower passages and the more up tempo ones. But yeah, that was an excellent song, and probably, you know, one of the go-to tracks if you were to get into this band. So I'll certainly be checking them out. But yeah, absolutely, really enjoyed that. You know, even from a live performance. You know, if we hear a band for the first time live, doesn't always grab me, but that certainly did.
Cool. All right, Kirk, what do you reckon of it?
I'm always curious as to what, you know, those Gregorian chants that they've sampled on the keyboard.
Yeah.
They're so powerful, those, aren't they? Yeah, and I'm always curious to know why no artist has really gone overboard with that in any form of metal or gothic music. The reason I say that is, I think I've mentioned it before on this channel, watching an interview with Dino of Fear Factory, and he just said, once he'd heard that riff one by Metallica, he just thought, why can't you use that as a riff in every song? Or make that the main part of the song? And artists have always stepped back from that. I mean, I think because they know the power of those Gregorian chants, that brooding encroachment of danger, of doom, of even foreboding that it brings, that you don't have any band that just does that on every song. And it's just curious how that has never evolved, and probably a good thing that it hasn't, because it'd soon become, it'd soon waste the potential, wouldn't it, of that in the music. This, yeah, I can tell that they have a background in death metal. Certainly the way that the bass and drums were locked in together, that was very technical, wasn't it? Almost like cynic at times. The guitars didn't actually get lost in the mix. There was some really interesting mid-range fretboard action going on there as well. I actually thought her vocals at the beginning didn't suit the song, you know, until she skipped onto the stage and then really got into the momentum. Before that, I was struggling to process. I was thinking, what's going on there? It might just be because I couldn't see her at the time, so I wasn't expecting it.
Okay.
But yeah, she really got into a rhythm, didn't she? And the backing vocals, I would say, rather than death metal vocals, he couldn't get himself heard. That's not his fault. That's just the live engineering desk, isn't it? He just couldn't get himself heard at first.
It did bring it up as it went on.
Yeah, they came through in the end, didn't they? And final point, I would say, Theatre of Tragedy are clearly an influence on this band, as are The Gathering. But the first group to do this is certainly that Swedish band Therion, and they probably don't get enough credit. Everyone just looks at gothic metal and just thinks Paradise Lost are the godfathers of this. That might be true, but when you're introducing symphonic elements, Therion, that Swedish band who are on Nuclear Blast, and their 1996 album Tele, or Tele, I don't know how to pronounce that certainly has had an impact. But I thought that they made it their own. I wasn't bored by it. It wasn't formulaic, and I'd certainly give it a listen on record because I think there'd be quite a lot to unpick in this music.
Therion, Kirk, another band that started in death metal genre before moving on to more gothic and symphonic.
Definitely, yeah, they were a peaceful band, weren't they, originally? Yeah, kind of like a grimy technical death metal band, if that makes sense. Yeah. And they'd certainly changed the sound, didn't they?
Okay, so just from me then. I mean, I can now listening to that because I'd heard Revamp.
Terrible name. Again, I talk about bad names.
And of the fact it was and then they put the vamp like a vampire type, and I was like, oh, it's cheesy. It's not. It wasn't a great name for the band, and they were only around for a couple. I think they got a new singer after Floor went on. I think that they still carried on because I think she was also in Delane as well as another band. She was in quite a few different bands for a while, which is why she kind of got burnt out before joining on with Nightwish. Now I can understand why Nightwish would be having her in the back of their minds when they were looking at a vocalist, and potentially even from the point when Tarja first left before Annette joined. That would have been probably the key point, because of the similarities at this point with the style of Tarja, what she did on the early albums. Now I'm not a fan of the early style of Nightwish. I'm not a fan of operatic vocals. I don't know if it's because I think they're so much harder to kind of keep in tune with the guitar key and stuff, because you've got to put so much power, you've got to hold that pitch, which means if you go slightly off, it sounds it. And that's what I was finding a little bit here, was when I was listening to it, I'm like, are the guitars and the vocals fighting each other too much on this? And I just couldn't quite get myself into it. And then it just felt like it felt more raw than you hear when she does it on like Nightwish stuff now, and you can hear that clear transition from 20 years later when she goes out on stage and does operatic stuff. She's got a lot more power, she's got a little bit more control than she has at this point, but she was still amazing. She was still absolutely amazing. It's just great to see her in the earlier stages as she's still on her musical journey, and she's still getting her performances, even her windmilling. She does that still with the Nightwish stage. You can still see elements of what she does in the Nightwish performances at this point. Really like the music of the songs. I like it when bands that have got death metal influences still have this level of emotion, theatricality, that blend of the keyboards bringing it in. I'm not a big thing with the death metal. It's just brutal death metal. I just can't get any connection with it, whereas there was definitely more of a connection. Great songwriting. I liked the backing vocals or the secondary death metal vocals, but as you said, you couldn't hear it on the first part, and it was like you could actually hear the fader going up near the end of it, where the guy on the sound desk was going, "Oh shit, got to bring him in." Oh, someone else is singing. So I liked that. I kept getting distracted though by the TV monitors in the background, and I kept thinking in different engine at one point. It was like someone going to turn those on with some static or something. Those computer monitors, which is obviously our local band, one of our local bands. But I really liked it. Definitely a band I've not really heard of. Oh god, there's another band. I forgot another one. There's Northwood, I think, is another band that Floor did as well. Floor was in a lot of bands. She might as well have been part of the Hertfordshire metal scene, the amount of bands that she was in. It's crazy how many bands that you can actually find out that
The
she's been
Dutch
in.
goth metal scene was enough for them, wasn't it?
It-
Before we go, is there a difference between goth metal and gothic metal?
Yes.
Yes.
So what is gothic metal more of the extreme stuff and goth metal's more radio friendly? What's the difference
Theatricality, I would have said.
in which one?
Gothic is definitely more theatricality. It's darker, I think. Goth metal seems to be more. Goth, I think, goes more towards the emo side of it.
Oh, okay.
I think the goth one is more the emo goth. Gothic tends to be darker and doomier.
I see.
Well, that's how I would see it. If
so
someone's
goth metal is
goth
a bit more
metal.
post-punk.
Goth metal would be that kind of cross between, as you said, a bit more. It's almost a bit of emo look thrown in with a bit of new metal. Goth with a little bit of doom, but then gothic is definitely more darker, doomy, theatrical. There's more keyboards. I don't see with goth metal. I don't really hear a lot of keyboard parts.
Who are the god Andy? You might know that. So gothic metal, then, do we agree, is Paradise Lost? That album, Gothic, probably started it. So who started goth metal? Who are the purveyors of that?
I don't know. I mean, what are Sisters of Mercy and those bands of that little feel? Is that goth rock? Was that just
Goth
goth?
punk, I guess.
I would say goth. Yeah, goth is similar to post-punk, isn't it? I wouldn't say Sisters of Mercy are goth metal. They're definitely influenced.
And it's goth. Does goth
I love
always
it.
have to be put in with a different thing, like goth metal, goth punk, goth? Whereas gothic can stand on its own. I don't know if that might be the reason. It's goth is a sub. It has to be put to something. It's a style,
Yeah.
but you have to tell you what the music is. It's like almost the goth bit is the look, and then you say it's goth metal, goth punk, goth hardcore, goth. Whereas gothic, you can just say it's gothic, and you know what you're getting there. It's less about the look on the gothic, maybe.
Something we could probably explore in another.
That could be a hearty debate on that one.
Yeah.
Or we could just check up on Wikipedia and see what Wikipedia says.
Something else that could be checked up online, but I'm not going to do it right now. But I'll just put it out there in case either of you know. We're talking at the end of October 2023. How is Miss Jansen at the moment? Has she delivered her child?
I believe she
at late
has.
stages of labour.
I did see something pop up.
So I've not heard either
yesterday.
way, but I'm guessing she has. It's been a long. Sort of looked at her performing live, heavily pregnant, with Nightwish earlier this year.
I believe is it Holly? Oh no, Lucy. Sorry. 2 days ago.
Oh wow, the topical.
Lucy,
Congratulations
yes.
to the floor.
It did
And
pop up. They
family.
haven't posted a picture of her with child, as far as I've seen. There was an announcement from Floor Jansen's site with them, just with the picture of the sonogram or whatever it's called, and they've said that they've welcomed her to 2 days ago. So, and a lot of people were getting confused because they were like, no, but they announced that they were having a baby ages ago. That picture's old, and they're like, yes, but they haven't posted a picture of her holding her baby, but they wanted to do an announcement that she has arrived. So yes, Lucy has joined the world. What a world she's joined into as well.
Oh, God.
But anyway, thank you for that. That was After Forever and Beautiful Emptiness. Now, if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you on the video sometime very soon. Take care.